This exercise, the cast iron bracket, is fairly easily done in about 6 features. You can approach it from a couple of different perspectives. You can extrude this bottom part first in that direction, or you can extrude this bottom part in this direction. You can do it in multiple cuts or try to do as much in one extrusion as possible. So let's start. I'm going to extrude the front part first. So I'm going to use the front plane. And there's a lot of symmetry here. So I'm going to take advantage of that and make a center line. And I'm going to place the origin right in between the 2 circles. So make a horizontal line here, down like this, over, up, over, and up like that. And I will work on symmetry first. Make these all symmetric. And then put the holes in place. And probably the easiest way of keeping them together would be, first off, symmetry. And then I can use a horizontal relation between them and the origin. Now I can make some dimensions. The overall dimension is 152 millimeters. There it is. And the overall height, well, of that part of it is 64. Oh dear, look, I did not make this line up. That's okay. Simply take this line and this line and make them collinear. There we go. Now moving on, got additional dimensions to make, so between this line and this line is 50. And they also have line of symmetry here to the center of the large circle. Well, that was lucky. It was 76. Oh, of course, can't put the 76 in there. We already have 152 that is symmetric, so the 76 is redundant. And this pops up. Make this dimension driven, or leave this dimension driving. Make this dimension driven, talking about the 152, means it's not going to define it. It's going to be defined by the 76. So if I made this 100, then this would be 200. So I'm just going to cancel the 76 and move on. Now I've got still several blue lines to work on. The thing is, it does not know where this is with respect to the origin. So the circles are 20 millimeters up. There it is. And the circles are also 25 from the edges. And they are also 20 millimeters in diameter. Well, this one didn't come that way because it did not make the relation. Just click on each of them, hold the control key down, and we will make them equal. Now this line needs to be defined, the last blue line there, and simply that 38 dimension. So we are all set for the front face extrusion, and indicates depth, a blind depth of 44 millimeters. And there's our first feature. Now, it is possible to simply make the next cut an extrusion based on this face. But because of symmetry, the extrusion would best capture design intent by starting in the middle and going to both sides. So using the right plane, we're going to make an extruded cut. Face that plane. And use a basic rectangle. Dimension it with 22 millimeters. And the height, it's hard to see in the diagram, but the height is also that same 38 of the front cutout. Now let's see where that is. So that's where I made the sketch, right in the middle. And I will make the first direction through all, so it's cutting through everything. And I will make a second direction through all as well. Now this does take an extra click or two, but I believe that it actually captures design intent better. It is a symmetric feature for a symmetric part. So there's the cut. Now we must consider the upper features. One can build it from the ground up. One can do it right off of this face and build kind of out in the middle of nowhere, then connect the two pieces. I prefer to build onto something that's already there. Sometimes the computer actually does not like when you have solids that are separate from each other. So also want to take this opportunity to show how to make a reference plane. So we're going to start with a reference plane, and we're going to start that on the back side of the upper features. So we're going to make it an offset plane off of this front face. So our first reference will be this face. And if you'll notice, the default is offset, but we need to go the other direction. So click that button to flip it to the other direction. And we need 12 plus 20 millimeters back. So this is where we're going to start our new extrusion. So we'll extrude, and we had already selected that plane, so it already knew where we were going to sketch. So let's look at it from that perspective. And I'm going to start with a line, and then make a circle, then back to a line, we just need to make some relations here. So this should be directly over our origin, so that's nice and centered. And we have a width for the rectangular base of 70 millimeters. Oh dear, they are not aligned properly. I think we will need to make a center line, starting with the origin, going straight up, and we will make them symmetric about the center line. Ah, that looks a lot better. And now we'll dimension the circle. Notice how I use the diameter, and it insists on using a radius for the circle because it's not a full circle. So I just took the diameter and put /2. And last but not least, we need to know the height of the center. So go from the center down to the bottom, and that height is 114. And we're good to go. Now we need to know how far this goes out, and I'm just going to go with 20. There's the top part. Now we need to make another extruded boss from this plane, and it will be fairly easy. Take a circle, I just put my cursor right over the other circle so that I could have it show its center. And then I clicked in just the wrong spot. So what I'm going to do is take this circle, hold my control key down, click on that arc, and make them co-radial. So now they have the exact same center and radius. And it's fully defined. Now I just need to come out that extra 12 millimeters. Or I can have it come out to the front face of this, which I believe is the design intent. So I'll change my direction from blind to up to surface. Click on this surface. There it is. That's the surface I want. And my green check mark. Finally, I just need to make an extruded cut on that face, and I will look at it straight on, click on circle, put my cursor over this, not clicking, but it shows that center, so I'm going to click on that center, bring it out. So now it is coincident on the center, so they both have the same center. And simply make a diameter. And it's 38 millimeters in diameter, and it's defined as 12 millimeters deep. Put in 12, and there's my cut. Could it have been done differently? Absolutely. But I tried to keep the symmetry, so I made this cut with a sketch right in the middle so that we maintained our design intent as closely as possible. Then I made a new plane so that we could extrude back from that. And made that final circular boss there and cut a hole in the middle. At the very end is when I prefer to put fillets in, if possible. So I'll put click an edge there, and click an edge there, and those fillets need to be 12 millimeters in radius, and we're home free.